Most men think attraction is about what they say. It isn't. It never was. A mature woman, a woman who has lived, who has loved, who has been disappointed, she doesn't fall for words anymore. She falls for feeling. And today, I'm going to show you 7 specific touches, not physical touches alone, but the kind of moments, gestures, and presence that reach something deep inside a woman and make her think, I've never felt this way with someone before. Stay with me until touch number 5, because that one, most men have never even considered it, and it changes everything. Here's what most men don't understand about mature women. A woman in her 30s, 40s, 50s, she is not the same person she was at 22. She has been charmed before. She has heard the right lines. She has been with men who looked confident but felt empty up close. She has learned to read beneath the surface. So when a man comes along and tries to impress her with status, or moves too fast, or talks too much, her body knows before her mind does. Something feels off, and she pulls back. Not because she doesn't want connection, she craves it more than almost anything, but because she has been burned by men who didn't understand what she actually needed. Here's the psychology you need to understand. A mature woman is not looking to be swept off her feet in a dramatic Hollywood way. She is looking to feel safe enough to let her guard down. She is looking for a man who moves with intention, who notices things, who doesn't rush. Attraction at this level is not loud. It is quiet. It builds slowly, like pressure in a room. And when it finally breaks through, it is overwhelming. The 7 touches I'm about to share with you are not tricks. They are the language of deep emotional connection. They are what happens when a man finally understands that the most powerful thing he can do is make a woman feel seen. Touch 1. The unhurried look. Not a stare, not a glance. A look that stays just a moment longer than expected. Picture this. You're sitting across from her at dinner. She's telling you about something that happened at work, something that frustrated her, something she's clearly carried all day. And while she's talking, most men are nodding, half listening, waiting for their turn. But you don't look away. You hold her gaze with calm, warm attention. You don't rush to respond. You let her words land. And in that silence, just 2 or 3 seconds of genuine, unhurried eye contact, something shifts in her, because she realizes he's actually here. What most men do wrong is they look away too quickly. They break eye contact out of nervousness or distraction, and every time they do, a woman feels, unconsciously, slightly less valued. What you do instead is stay. Not intensely, not forcefully, just present. Like nothing else in the world matters more than this moment with her. That is the first touch. And it costs nothing, but it lands like gravity. Touch 2. Remembering the small thing. She mentioned it once, 3 weeks ago, casually. She didn't think you were even paying attention. But today, you bring it up. Maybe it was the name of her favorite bookstore from her hometown. Maybe it was that she always drinks her coffee with oat milk because regular milk bothers her. Maybe it was something her late mother used to say. She mentioned it once, and you remembered. This is where things change, because a mature woman has had conversations with men who forgot important things, who couldn't remember the name of her sister, who had to be reminded of her birthday 3 times. When a man remembers the small thing, the detail that didn't seem important, it tells her something enormous. He was listening. He was actually listening. And that quiet realization that someone paid that kind of attention to her, it lands somewhere deep, somewhere she didn't expect. Most men focus on grand gestures. They think big moments create big feelings. But with a mature woman, the small details are the grand gestures. Touch 3. The pause before you speak. This one is subtle, almost invisible, and yet it is one of the most powerful signals of masculine confidence and emotional depth. When she asks you something, especially something vulnerable, something that matters, don't answer immediately. Pause. Let the question sit for just a moment, long enough to show that you're actually considering it, that her question deserves real thought. Imagine this scene. She's had a long week. You're walking slowly through a quiet park in the evening. She turns to you and asks, not dramatically, just honestly, "Do you ever feel lonely?" A nervous man fills the silence immediately. He deflects, he jokes, he says something safe. But you pause. You breathe. You look ahead for just a moment, and then you turn back to her and answer with something real. What happens next is what most men never notice. Her body relaxes. Her shoulders drop slightly. Her pace slows. Because she just felt something rare. A man who isn't afraid of real questions. A man who doesn't need to perform. A man who is comfortable in depth. And comfort in depth, for a mature woman, is one of the most attractive things that exists. Touch 4. Protecting her peace without being asked. She didn't ask you to step in. She didn't say anything was wrong. But you noticed she seemed tense around a certain person, or that she was overwhelmed at an event but pushing through it with a smile. And quietly, without making it a scene, without needing credit, you shifted something. Maybe you gently steered the conversation away. Maybe you put your hand lightly on the small of her back and said softly, "You ready to get out of here?" Maybe you simply sat closer to her so she didn't feel alone in the noise. She didn't ask. You just saw. Most men wait to be told what a woman needs. They're responsive, not perceptive. And while responsiveness is good, perception is extraordinary. A mature woman who has spent years either over-explaining herself to men or staying silent because no one noticed, when a man sees her without her having to perform her distress, that breaks something open in her. That is the touch that says, "I'm paying attention. You are safe with me." Touch 5. Letting her be complicated. Here is the one most men never consider. A mature woman has layers. She has contradictions. She is soft and strong at the same time. She knows what she wants, but sometimes doesn't. She is confident in her career and uncertain in her heart. She carries old wounds quietly. Most men, when they sense this complexity, try to simplify her. They offer solutions. They get uncomfortable with emotion. They say things like, "Don't overthink it," or "You shouldn't feel that way." And she goes cold. Not because she's being dramatic, but because she just felt the thing she's felt 100 times before. The sense that a man wants an easy version of her, a manageable version. What you do instead is this. You let her be complicated without flinching. When she says something contradictory, you don't correct her. When she feels something big, you don't rush to fix it. You say something like, "That makes sense, actually. Both things can be true." And she looks at you differently in that moment, because you just gave her the rarest gift a man can offer a woman who has been over-explained and understood her entire life. You gave her room. Touch 6. Wanting her, not needing her. This is where the psychology gets deep. A mature woman can feel the difference, physically, in her body, between a man who wants her and a man who needs her. Needing feels desperate. It feels like pressure. Like she is responsible for his happiness, his confidence, his sense of self. Wanting feels like magnetism. It feels like he has a full life, a full self, and he is choosing her to be part of it. The touch here is in how you hold yourself around her. You are warm, but not anxious. You reach out, but you don't chase. When she doesn't reply immediately, you don't spiral. When plans change, you adapt. You have your own world, and you're inviting her into it. She feels this every time. And what most men miss is that the more emotionally independent you are, the more deeply she wants to be connected to you. Not because you're playing games, but because you're showing her, I chose you from a place of wholeness, not emptiness. That is one of the most attractive things a man can be. The moment you look at her and say something honest that she didn't expect you to notice. Something like, "You work really hard to hold everything together, don't you?" And you say it gently, without judgment, just seeing. Or the moment after a long evening, when things are quiet, and instead of filling the silence with something clever, you simply say, "I really enjoy being around you." Not because it's smooth, because it's true. Mature women have excellent instincts for authenticity. They've heard manufactured compliments. They've felt when a man is performing attraction rather than feeling it. When you say the true thing, the quiet, real, unhurried truth, it lands somewhere no performance ever reaches. And that is the seventh touch. Not a technique, a choice. The choice to show up fully, to mean what you say, to let her feel that she is worth your honesty. Here's what I want you to sit with. These 7 touches are not about getting anything from a woman. They are about becoming the kind of man a woman of depth can actually open up to. Because here's the truth most men spend decades missing. A mature woman is not hard to love. She is hard to fool. And the moment she stops feeling like she has to protect herself around you, the moment she trusts that you see her, that you're not overwhelmed by her, that you're choosing her with clear eyes and a full heart, that is when she falls. Not dramatically, not loudly, slowly, deeply, in a way she didn't quite plan. And that kind of love, built on presence and truth and small, unhurried moments, is the kind that actually lasts. Most men will hear everything in this video and still go back to doing what they've always done. Because knowing something and living it are 2 very different things. But a few men, the ones who are actually ready, will recognize something in what I just shared. They'll feel it click, and they'll carry it with them. If that's you, if something here landed, subscribe, because everything I put on this channel is designed for the man who is done performing and ready to connect. I'll see you in the next one.